Hi, I'm Reverend Kate from the Center for Spiritual Living in Carlsbad, California, and I have a question for you. Do you even think that happiness is a choice? Or do you just think that happiness is something that spontaneously happens to you, but it's out of your control? Something like rain or sunshine or cloudy weather. Do other people make you happy or sad? Do your circumstances make you happy or sad? Is it just a matter of luck whether you're happy or sad? Or is it something that we actually can control? Is it a choice? Well, one of the greatest self-help books ever written, as far as I'm concerned, is The Power of Decision by Raymond Charles Barker. And he was a religious science minister who studied with Ernest Holmes. And I love this book. It's a really practical book. You can read it over and over again to help you get back on the right path of knowing that you're the one actually controlling your destiny. I love it. I've read it many times, especially if I'm ever feeling discouraged. And so as this fall is on its way, and actually another year is drawing not to the end, but it's kind of that time to, you feel like pulling in and getting busy and buckling down. The power of decision is where I like to go when I want to restart my life and get energized. The thing that I really like about this book, and some of it is a little older, a little bit, it's pre-internet, let's put it that way. But what I love about it is that Dr. Barker is very direct. He is very practical. He's straightforward. He tells you the truth, but he never talks down to the reader. And, I've read it many times, and I wanted to just not just read it again, but I wanted to just share some of the ideas that have meant so much to me. So one of the things that I have talked about many times is the fact that we live in a universe that is actually a result of the natural and the constant manifestation of spirit itself. You can think of spirit or God as mind or as infinite intelligence. Ralph Waldo Emerson referred to it as the oversoul. Most people do call it God, but remember, if you call it God, God isn't a separate entity from us. God isn't an old man in the sky handling our lives like a magic puppeteer. No. The truth is there is only God, or call it spirit. There is nothing else, so therefore we must be some part of it, made of it. What else could we be made of if there's only spirit? So Dr. Barker says what we should do, because this is true, and we need to get a hold of this idea. He recommends saying to ourselves every day, I am pure intelligence and always acting intelligently. I am pure intelligence, always acting intelligently. Are you? Yes, you are. You're the decision maker, and you have the intelligence to make any decision, wise, foolish. But if you act with divine intelligence in mind, if you're willing to accept that, your decisions get better and better, and you're able to use what you have learned and use your intuition to bring about a life that you choose. Does that sound possible to you? Dr. Barker also said this: you were born out of intelligence to express intelligence. Worry, fear, disease, argument, and frustration are not your normal heritage. These are actually abnormal, unhealthy uses of mind and emotion, which you have wrongly assumed to be necessary to your everyday living. So that's what he said. He doesn't beat around the bush. He just says it. We are wrong if we think that worry, fear, and disease and frustration are normal. We're wrong. And obviously, I'm counting myself in that body of people who often, find ourselves thinking, oh, good is nice, but I'm dealing with reality. My circumstances are not so perfect. No. There is another truth that underneath what is going on, there is good to be had, good to be found, and good to be recognized. So even if you feel not so smart, even if you feel like you've made a lot of mistakes, even some big ones, that mistake making is not the truth about you. Those are things that you've done in the past or that people have done to you. The truth about you, however, is something deeper, something that can never be taken away from you, that you are perfect, whole, and complete. You're pure intelligence. You are a child of the divine. You are the beloved. So say to yourself, I am pure intelligence, always acting intelligently. I am pure intelligence, always acting intelligently. This is a wonderful affirmation to say every day. Because we are made of the substance of spirit, we actually bear within us all of that essential good and intelligence, that perfection, which is the truth of life itself. And there's more. You're at choice, right? We don't always make this decision or that decision. We're not like trees that have to grow up. No, we can do what we want. We can go this way or that way. We're free. We're free to think what we want to think. Yes, you may have been molded and shaped by your experiences, by your parents, by your culture, but now you are a grown-up. Now you can sort out for yourself what's what, and you can get a clearer picture of what's really happening. You can see yourself as you are. See yourself as you would like to be. And then make new choices. And Dr. Barker says, once you see yourself as you are, and once you see what you would like to be, you can gradually whittle away your deeply rooted failure patterns and replace them with a new self-acceptance that will cause you to create what you want in the world. So you can be your very own Michelangelo, right? Taking you as you are, me as I am, and gradually thinking about what it is you want to see emerge in yourself, in your life, and begin to let go of those ideas and habits that no longer serve you. So, where should you begin? Where can we start? What do you want to create in the world? Well, let's start with this, simple. And I do believe that everyone wants to be happy, joyous. Whether they're rich or not, whether they're healthy or not, whether they're old or young, lonely or not, we all share this deep, innermost yearning to be happy. And this happiness can take so many different forms, but there's something intrinsic within us that's just yearning to be in expression as joy, happiness, and satisfaction. It's ready to well up in our hearts. We're all searching for our good. That's the truth. No matter what anyone has done that may seem so negative, behind everything, there is this yearning for our good, this seeking for our good. And in a way, you could say that a human being seeks for good in this very same way that a tree seeks the light. It is what we are about. Always. And it's true for everyone. And joy is part of it. You know, happiness, people might be like, oh, I'm happy I got a present. But joy is another word that expresses this just straight happiness. So William Blake wrote a wonderful short poem long ago, and I've shared it with our congregation before, but I love it. I think it's such a perfect description. So I'm going to read it again. It's called Infant Joy. Infant Joy. I have no name. I am but 2 days old. What shall I call thee? I happy am. Joy is my name. Sweet joy befall thee. Pretty joy. Sweet joy but 2 days old, sweet joy I call thee. Thou dost smile, I sing the while, sweet joy befall thee. Yes, it's about a baby, and babies do make us smile, don't they? But it also has a deeper impact, right? It calls forth the remembrance of the feeling of joy. In those few short sentences, Blake was able to remind us what the sense of joy feels like. It feels like looking at a newborn infant, and in fact, joy itself, this idea of joy, is that joy is always something that we experience in the moment. So you could say that joy itself is always a newborn infant. Joy is always in its infancy. It is our role to nurture joy, to take care of joy, to allow it to be in expression in our lives. And like looking at that bundle of living joy for us, looking at a baby, joy is something that when I see another person experiencing joy, it's contagious, I feel. An upwelling of joy. It's almost like when you see someone yawn. If you see someone yawn, do you ever start yawning also? Well, if you see someone smile, don't you also start smiling? So, what have you experienced lately? Have you experienced joy? Have you experienced enough joy? Would you like to experience more joy and more happiness? If you did, if you were to experience more happiness, what would it feel like? Can you imagine feeling happier? So Dr. Barker described this sense of happiness maybe as not always being super high energy, but as feeling satisfied with life. Feeling like you're doing a good job with life. Maybe not in your whole life, but in this moment. Now, feeling that you are on the right path. Feeling that you are in harmony and in tune with life, like you're going to make it, like you're going to succeed at whatever it is you're about, a general feeling good about life. So, on the other hand, what makes people feel unhappy? You've probably heard other people give you a million excuses and complaints about things that have happened to them that have made them unhappy, or things that have caused them suffering. And it's natural to try to figure things out and try to see what reasons there could be for unhappiness. That's what people do. But at some point, we have to stop looking at the past and look at today. At some point, we have to become self-conscious and self-responsible. So I put up behind me a little circle with 2 horizontal lines across it and what looks like a V. And that's kind of what we call our teaching symbol. It's just to get across it with a visual. Some people are more visual. The idea that life is infinite. And so we use the idea of a circle, because a circle, you can go round and round a circle. You can put so many points, an infinite number of points on the perimeter of a circle. And the 2 lines across divide this circle of life, which represents spirit itself. Although spirit is not really a circle, it's a representation. So if you just pretend that the circle represents the all of spirit, we have said that, well, maybe on top is consciousness. Maybe in the middle would be the subconscious mind. And then at the bottom would be physical. So we have spirit, subconscious, and really body. Spirit, mind, and body, all kind of in the great all that God is, enveloped in it. But what we have done is put this V in to show that we begin with our thoughts. We plant our thoughts into this greater spiritual consciousness, divine mind itself, which then results in a particularization, a particular manifestation. And the fact is that humans are constantly thinking. So we're like constantly sowing seeds, our thoughts, all the time. And sometimes what we need to do is just simply stop, take a breath, think it through, and think consciously and plant the seeds of the life that we would like to live, right? We need to stop looking at the past all the time and look at today. We live in today. We don't live in the past. We need to change our thinking today, because the reality is that happiness or joy is a spiritual constant. It's the truth. Where suffering is not. That's a transitory thing, right? That happens. We have our ups and downs. But this inner good that we're always seeking is a constant. It's always there. It's kind of like if you think about behind the clouds, the sun always shines. It's always there for us. We may be experiencing clouds, or we may be experiencing a clear sky, but behind it all, there is something great. And, it's not the same, but that's what it's like for us if you try to understand that constancy of good that we are seeking. So when you make a decision to be happy through the creative process of divine mind itself, something happens. And it's like an instant action. It's amazing. That's why you can use positive thinking and affirmations to make an instant change in your life. And through meditation, the use of affirmations, you're going to find that the next steps in your life will become clearer. You will have more clarity about how to achieve what you are seeking. And you will become more satisfied with your life, and you will experience greater happiness. So, what should you do? It's simple. Look on the bright side. Always look for the silver lining. Play the glad game. Make a gratitude list. Look for the good in everything that comes your way. Be generous. Give something away. What a pleasure that is. And know that the clouds, behind the clouds, the sun is always shining. Now, I also want to suggest to you, besides the affirmation from Barker, that I read earlier, also you might like to try Emile Coué's wonderful affirmation, which he called autosuggestion. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. And you could say, every day, in every way, I am getting happier and happier. And what you want to do with this process is say it at least 10 times, once or twice a day, for a while, and see if you don't reap some benefits. The other practice that I want to suggest, and you may know it, is the Serenity Prayer. Like the Serenity Prayer, the short, simple version that they use in 12-step meetings, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If you need the words, you can just look up Serenity Prayer. You'll find a long version, a short version. The short version is easy. You can memorize it. It's always there for you. So becoming happy is an inside job, but every little bit of happiness that you are able to claim for yourself becomes part of your gift to the world. The energy of happiness itself actually creates a spiritual warmth, and it radiates out from you with merriment, and it creates a lighter and brighter world for us all. So, don't hesitate. Say with me, I am ready, willing, and able to be happy right now. I am ready, willing, and able to experience joy right now. I'd like to share our weekly affirmation. I sent it out in our weekly email, which you can sign up for if you would go to our website. This week's affirmation is this: I can change my mind. I do not worry about changing my mind because life is really only a series of changes, a dance of change, and I am part of life. I can change my mind, and I choose wisely and well. So, this is the truth. Seek your good. Be happy. Allow your good to unfold. Share your smile. And know that whatever is going on with you, there is still good for you. So notice it. That's the way it is. So thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and all blessings to you. Thanks.